Hey guys, welcome back. So guys, in this video we are going to get started with the new topic, that is Angular. Okay, so guys, we are going to create a CRUD application in Angular using a API. So that API is built with Laravel application. So now guys, as simple, let's get started with the installation of Angular and set up the Bootstrap and create all the pages inside the Angular. Okay, so first step guys, here to install the Angular, you just need to do the following. So before this, you need to install one Node.js. Okay. So now guys, let's just get back to our file explorer where now just open your CMD command prompt. Okay. So I have selected one folder and open that. So now guys, here I just type CMD on the search. So it gives me to the correct path. Okay. So now guys, you need to check your node or npm is installed or not. So in my system I have already installed the node and npm, and now guys we need to check that I have installed the Angular or not. Okay, so now to check the Angular you just need to add ng space version. Okay, hit enter. So here you see I have already installed the Angular, which is 16 right now. Okay, so now guys, let us create the project. So as simple, let's get back here. So here is a basic workflow how we can create the Angular project. It's just ng new and the project name. As simple guys. Let's get back to the our command prompt, and here I just give the command ng space new space the project name. So I'm going to create a Angular hyphen CRUD. So hit enter. It will start creating the folder guys. So here it is asking, would you like to add a Angular routing? So I tell yes, that is why. And then which style sheet you prefer? I prefer CSS, hit enter. So it starts with the installation process. And here if you see guys in the background, it has created the Angular folder already. Okay, so let's wait for the complete installation of this Angular. Okay, so guys, here you see packages installed successfully and it's giving warning. So you can just ignore all these warnings guys and you can continue here. It's done. So here if you see this fatal unable to detect the email address I have not given, so that's why it's showing this kind of error. Okay, but our project is successfully created, installed. So now guys, we can just close this terminal, done. And then you can go into your Angular CRUD folder and then open this in your editor. So I choose with the VS Code editor. All set. And now guys, let us run this application. Okay, so just use control tilde symbol to open the terminal. Let me just zoom it. Okay, and now guys, just do ng serve, hit enter. Compiled successfully at the localhost 4200. Let's control click on it and we see the output here. Perfect. So we have successfully run the application guys, and now let's get back and we will be editing it. So as simple, let's get back to our editor. So first step, we are going to src folder. Inside that app, here we have a app.component.html. We have all unwanted codes, so you can just remove it. Just go below, select and remove everything except the router outlet. And now you want to keep this in a open and close div tag. Inside that we'll keep it in a h1 tag, home page. Okay, which means main page. Now if you save, refresh, perfect. So we have got the output guys, and now let's get back and set up the Bootstrap. So just open new terminal and install the Bootstrap. So what we can do, let's go to getbootstrap.com. So getbootstrap.com and copy this command. Okay, so just click on it, paste, hit enter. So it installs the Bootstrap. So guys, Bootstrap installation is done. Now we can get back to this served. And now guys, you can just go to this angular.json to link the bootstrap. Let's save this, and here in the first step you should go on the architect build, and inside that build you find the option. Inside that option you find the css and the script. So here it's already given a default style css file, so here it is. And now I want to add the bootstrap. So to link the bootstrap file, you can just find that inside your node modules. You just need to search Control F, search for the bootstrap, where you find bootstrap dist css, and you get that bootstrap min.css file. So where it is, here we go. Okay, so let's copy the relative path, copied, and now you can paste here. So same way guys, you need to search for the js file also. So what we'll do, we'll copy the bundle.min.js file. So let's copy the relative path and you paste it. You need to break it, double quotes, and paste it. Done guys. So now let's arrange this file, and you do not need to include the node modules. So just remove that, delete it, and start giving forward slash instead of backslash. All set. Now you can save it and close this. Now you can just use a simple button to test that the bootstrap is working or not. Yeah, click me, save it, and now if we see the output, here we see a normal button, and if we give a class for this button hyphen primary, save it, and then you see the bootstrap. Okay, it has not linked correctly. Let's save it once again. I think we need to reserve that because we are editing the angular.json file, right? So for that sake, we need to reserve. Just Control C and ng serve again. Done. And now if we refresh, awesome guys. So it's working fine. So whenever we do any changes in this angular.json file, you need to reserve the application. Now let's close it. So here, if you remove the class, you see normal bootstrap. If you serve it, the bootstrap. Okay. So now guys, we have successfully included the bootstrap also. And now let's begin with creating the pages. So as simple, let me delete this folder VS Code we do not require. So now let's get started with creating the components. So you can move on the new bash or a new terminal where we'll create the component using Angular commands. So ng generate component, which is home page. So for that, I will create inside the pages folder. So you should move inside the app. Inside this app, we'll be creating the pages folder. So let's tell pages forward slash and then home page. Okay, let's hit enter. Perfect. Let me zoom it, guys. And now you see inside the app folder, we have a home page, and inside that home page, we find the component. Okay, so what we can do, let us open and close div and use the h1 tag and tell home page. So same way we are going to create for about and contact us also. So let us use the same command ng generate component pages, where you will tell about page, hit enter, and same way for the contact page. So let us just create all the components of pages. Okay, contact page. So if we go inside the page, we find all the three components, that is home page, about page, and contact page. As simple, let us copy this, and now we go to about page and go on the HTML, paste here and mention about page, and then we go for the contact page. Go to contact page.html. Let me show you the correct file names. So make sure it's .html, guys. It's not any other file. Okay, so here we paste contact page, save it, get back. So now guys, I want to call the about page, contact page, and other pages also. So for that, you just need to add the routing. Okay, let's arrange it. Let's close every file here. Done. Go to src and app. Inside that app, you find the app routing module.ts file. So inside this only, we are going to give the routes. So inside this array, let's hit enter and open and close curly brace, where inside this curly brace you tell the path colon, you do not give forward slash, okay, anytime in this application in the beginning. So you just need to give null. That means it accepts as a home page. And on this home path, what component you have to give? So component colon, what is the component? So it's my home page, that is home component. Okay, so what you can tell, let's tell home page component, hit enter. So it's automatically it's importing the class. If it's not importing, please import your path. And on this page only, I want to set the title. So for example, if you see right now what title here it is telling Angular CRUD, right? So I just want to set the home page. So you can add a title colon home page. So give it in a single quotes. Let's save. And then you can just copy and paste. So it goes to the about hyphen us, which is about page. So it's not imported, guys. Sometimes it's import, sometimes it doesn't. So what we'll do, we will import by manually. So you can just about and change the page. Done, guys. So if you see, the path is correctly called. So if you just control click and it goes to that component, right? Let me close it. So same way, guys, for the contact also. Let us do that contact us, and here you set the title contact and about us, contact us, and the component also you have to import. So contact page component, just hit tab, so it imports automatically. Now let's save. So now guys, let me copy this route and get back on the browser. So if you paste slash about us, you see that about us, and if you paste contact hyphen us, you get contact us. Okay, so what is this home page? You need to remove that from the main file, that is your component.html. Let's remove it so it works correctly. As simple, guys. Now if you give here home page, perfect. And you see the title also, it's changing. So let me add about hyphen us. So you see the title also changes to about us. Perfect, guys. So now guys, as simple, I just want to create one navbar to navigate through the pages. So what we'll do, we'll just create a simple component in the partial folder. So which will be inside this pages. So just type ng generate component inside the pages forward slash then partials forward slash the navbar. Hit enter. So you see that partials folder. Inside that partial, you have a navbar component. Awesome. So now guys, you can go to this navbar.component.html file. Inside that HTML, you have to paste the navbar code. So we have already installed the Bootstrap. Now let's go to the docs and just search for navbar. Navbar, hit enter. So here we get the navbar code as simple. Let's copy it and get back. Now paste. So now guys, here we do not require few things. Let's remove those. And yep. So as simple, let me show it correctly here. And this is my, UL tag. So you can remove this also, and this will be your home page. And then about. So same way, copy and paste for the contact us, and this will be the about us. And now guys, how to link the routes? So you just need to change this href to router link. So add a router link, copy this, paste here, and here remove it and make it to forward slash, and here forward slash about hyphen s, then forward slash contact us. So same way, copy this and paste on your navbar. Done guys, let's save it, and here you can tell Angular CRUD. And now let's import this navbar component inside our main app component. So let's go to app component.html file. On this we can include it. So how to include a component, okay, inside another component? So for that you can just add app hyphen then the navbar. That's it. Now you can close them, and it's imported. Let's save it, and now you'll be seeing the changes guys. Awesome. So now guys, our navbar looks very simple. Let me just add a few styling inside that. You just need to add this simple shadow, and let's add this bg white. That's it. And from margin end auto to margin start auto, let's remove this container fluid and make it to container only. Now if you save and check the output, awesome. And now let's redirect here, home, about, and contact. Perfect guys. So guys, we have successfully learned how to install the Angular application and integrate the Bootstrap, create the pages, and set up the navbar to navigate through the pages. Okay. So now guys, in this we are going to start with how to insert the data into our database using Laravel API. Okay. So guys, we have already seen that how to install the Angular and create the project, how to navigate through the pages in the previous video. Okay. So now let's get started with directly creating the student page and its form for the insertion of data. So now guys, let's get back to the editor. So as simple, now make sure your ng is served, and then let's go to the new bash and just create with the new student create component. Okay, so ng generate component, the I want to go inside the pages which I have already the pages folder here. Inside that pages I want to create a student create. Okay, hit enter. So here are my components created. Okay, so now guys, you can just follow here student app pages and student create, and inside that we have a student create.html file. Okay, so now here open and close div, get started with h1 tag, and this tell this as student create page. Okay, save it, and now we want to access this page. So for that you can just go to the app routing.module.ts file, and inside this we are going to add the create route. Okay, so let us tell students slash create, as simple, and we go to the student create page. Okay, so student create component. Okay, so the pages also is imported, and here tell student create. Let's save. So now guys, let us copy this route and go to the browser and paste it. So let's refresh. You're on this student create page. Awesome. So now guys, let's begin with the form design. So to get back to your student create component where you are moving to the HTML, and here is the HTML file. Done. So let me just show you in the sidebar, as simple. So now guys, add a container, and inside this container I just want margin top 5. Get started with the card. card header with the h4 tag where student create, and a simple a tag for the back button. So right now we are going to give the home path and here router link. Okay, and let's design this button danger, and this should be floating to end. And then guys, after the card header, let's go to the card body, and inside this card body your form starts. So before that, let us check this output. Let's save it and get back, refresh, and here is the output guys. Awesome. And now guys, let us create all the input fields. So what are the input fields we are going to create? So let me just show you in the database. So here is my table guys, which is name, course, email, and phone. These are the four columns which we have to create as an input field, and those input data we are going to pass through the API and insert into this database. Okay. So now guys, let's get back to the form. So form, adding a margin bottom 3, a label, name, then input dot form hyphen control. Let me just zoom it. So we end this. Then guys, you have to give the name attribute equal to name. This will be the field name, and same way we have to pass the ng model. So ng model, hit enter. So this is a process how it comes. Now you have to pass name. So now guys, same way, let us copy this and paste below for other four fields. Course, okay, paste here and make it small. Done. And email, email, and then finally the last input, that is phone. Okay, let's paste here phone. Done. And now guys, one more thing we required, a button. Okay, so a simple button which will be save, and let's design this button with the Bootstrap class button primary, and this button is going to be a type of submit. All set. So on this button click, we have to do the ng submit. Okay, ng sub mit equal to, and this will be inside a round bracket, and here you have called to a save student function. As simple guys. Now the first step, you have to go back to your the student create component.ts file. Let me show the filing also. Okay, so this is a file, and inside this file we have to specify all the form field names. So here let us tell name colon, which is going to be a string, and then the course colon string, email colon string, and then phone colon string. As simple. So these are the four names which we have to call inside the form. So this will understand. But right now what it is telling here, it is not able to get any data. So for that you can just add this not symbol before each variable. Paste here. All set guys. So we have given all the variables and we get back to the HTML form. So still we are getting the error here. It's telling about the model. So if you going to use ng model or ng submit, you have to import some classes. So you just need to move on the main app.module.ts. Inside this imports, you have to add that classes. Okay, so that is nothing but the forms module. Press tab and imports its class here. Okay, so let me just push this at the top so it should be clear. So now guys, you have imported this form module, and because of this your all unwanted errors goes. Close this file, and then guys, here you just need to copy this function and you need to move to your student create component.ts file, and inside that only you have to create this function. So now guys, when you submit the form, you should get all your input details. So what we'll do, we'll just keep inside one variable. So let's tell var of input data equal to open and close curly brace, and inside this we are going to tell this will be my name, and then your this dot name. Okay, this dot name is nothing but the variable what you are taken here. So same concept, CV, then go for the course, and this will be email, and finally a phone, phone phone. So guys, make sure you are passing this the correct name as per the API records. So if you see in my API code, let me just show you. So this is my post of student control where I'm going to save the data. So here are my field names. Okay, here are my input requests. So whatever request I send from there, it reads over here, name, course, email, and phone. This data only will be over there. Okay, so ignore that part, guys. If you want to learn about this, how to create a API, then you have to learn through this laravel, and then come back to this. And now let's do the HTTP call request. So guys, what we are going to do, we will be taking a service. From that service, we will be using the HTTP call. So as simple, let's get back to a new terminal. So let's create a service in the Angular ng generate service. Inside the services folder, I am going to create the student and hit enter. So here you see, let us go inside the app, and inside the app you find that service that is your student service. So here will be all your HTTP calls. So let's create one save student function, and here you will get the input data and any we can send, or if you are sure you are sending an object, then you can type the object. Okay, so if you see here, we are sending actually the object on this is an object variable, so you send this, right? You can tell that in the student service, yes, I am sending the object on save student function, and let's return. And here we are going to call the HTTP client. So before that, you need to import that HTTP client in your app module.ts. So let's go to app.module.ts file. Inside that, here we are going to import the HTTP client module. So just use comma and add that HTTP client 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 module. And now you need to import this, copy this and import. Use import open and close curly brace, and this will be importing from the Angular common HTTP, and you need to, and now you can use this HTTP client module inside your any pages. So now you can get back on the service. So we are going to use service, right? So here now in the constructor, let's call that HTTP client. So just use private HTTP client colon the HTTP client, hit tab. So here is the HTTP client imported, and then you use this HTTP client for the request. So this dot HTTP client dot the post method. So we are going to save the data, right? So we'll be using post method to save the data. Okay, so why I'm facing this error? Oops. So here you see I have pasted inside the wrong. It should be inside the constructor function, guys. Okay, not inside the curly brace. As simple, and here tilde symbol and get the API URL. So my API for this route. So here you find this students on the post method. It goes with the students. So you have to paste the complete URL. So right now I will just check out on the browser. I have already served the URL, guys. So you can just copy this complete URL, get back and paste here. So perfect. And with this only we'll be sending the data. So what is that data? It's the input. Okay. So here you copy this input data and send it. That's it, guys. All set. Let's save it. And now you can get back to the form. So on the student create component.ts file. Here you call your service. So you have to create a constructor, open and close bracket and open and close curly brace. So now guys, inside this constructor you call your student service, what service you have created here. Okay, so let's tell private, that is student service colon the student service. Okay, student service. Perfect. So here if you see that it is imported on the correct file, let us just go to that path. So here you find, okay, so now guys you can just get back again and done. So let's copy this, and here let's begin with this dot student service dot the function name. So it's already suggesting it, that is to save student function dot subscribe function, and here inside the subscribe open and close curly brace and use next colon function and open and close. So guys, this is a new updated in the http subscribe. Okay, so now here you get for the error colon open and close function open and close curly brace. So here you pass the error and this will be a response. So res response. So whatever response you get, you just need to console.log here. So response, and what kind of response you'll be getting, I don't know what kind of response I get, so I just put any. And what kind of error also I get in the response, I don't know, so I'll put any here. And now guys, in this inside the save student function, it is asking for some data over here. So what data? That is nothing but our input data. We take that and pass it inside this function, and this student save student function goes to the student service, which is calling that http client post request. Okay, so now get back and copy this and paste inside the error also. So let's tell error comma, here these are errors and this is the your response. So response. Okay, let's save it. So now guys, you get back and refresh here and make sure you inspect your console log. And now if I click on directly on save, let's see what happens. Click save. So here you face guys that the post request of this URL is 422. Okay, unprocessable content. So which means it's telling all the input field is required. So I'll just show you in that. If you go inside your network and just move to that student, you find that errors. Okay, so this is the errors, and you might see in the console log also, that is your errors which you see. And here inside that error and errors, so we need to get error.error.errors and then all the column field names. So as simple, let's get back here, error.error.errors. Okay, so we need to keep this in one variable, so we'll tell this dot errors, errors, and here we paste. So now you need to create one array for this. Let's get back on the top, error colon any kind of data it might be, and it should be a array. As simple guys. And now you use this inside this dot errors and get all the error list. As simple guys. And now let us just use this inside the HTML form to view the error list. Okay, so go to your student, create component.html file, and just below your input tag use a span tag, and inside that span tag ng if condition. So this will be errors dot name, and let's copy this, and you need to show inside open and close curly brace error dot name, and here let's use a text danger, and let's paste here same thing for the course. Paste it, paste it. Let's copy again for the email. Let's copy paste, paste. Same for the phone. Copy, paste and paste. Save it, guys. Now let's get back and refresh once and click on save button. So if I click here, you find that the name field is required, the course is required. Perfect. And now if we type anything, click here, save. So it goes the error also. Okay. Now guys, let us submit with the correct data. Let's enter Om Prakash BCA om@gmail.com. Here 10-digit phone number. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. And now let's click on save. So what will be the response? So here you see guys that we have got the response in the console log, and in that you have got the message that is student created successfully. So guys, once this record is created, we want to empty all these fields and I'll show the alert message. So for that, you can just get back and move to the component.ts file. So here inside this success, just use the alert function response dot message, and once the data is saved, we need to clear the input field. This dot name equal to null. As simple. Same way guys for all other fields, which is course, email and phone. Save it. All done guys, and let me just show you with one more saving record. So before saving one new record, I just wanted to set a loader type. Okay, so when I click on this save button, it should show that it is saving and it should show a loading option. So for that guys, you can just use a simple spinner from the get bootstrap. Let's go to the docs and here spinner. So here is the design guys. So we are going to use this. So what we can do, let us create a component. Okay, so we can use it in the further CRUD. Okay, so ng generate component space, and you go inside the pages partial. Inside this partial, I want to keep that loaded. So pages / partials / the loader. Hit enter. Okay, so we go inside the partials, we have that loader. Awesome. So let's go on this component.ts file and paste it, the HTML code. Let's paste here. All done. And here you pass a title guys. So if we send a custom title, so that time it should show what title we have passed. To access this title, you have to go to your loader, and inside this you just need to paste that title colon, it is a string. So let's mention that it is a string equal to, inside single quotes, let's tell loading. So by default we'll keep the loading only, and you can get back again here and just add dot dot dot. Okay, so we are setting this by default loading. And now guys, you can get back on the student create component.html file, and before this form submit, let's create one div tag. Open and close div. Use ngIf. Okay, ngIf where is loading. Okay, when it is loading, you are going to call your loader component. So just use app hyphen then the component name, that is your loader. Okay, and this loader. So if you want to pass the title, you can just add a colon title here. Okay, equal to the custom title. Okay, so I will mention loading title. And now guys, here I just want to add the else condition also. Okay, so just give semicolon, use else, and this will be your else block. Okay, not block, else, let's keep it else form. Okay, and now you have to use a ng template. Let me break this. So we are just going to remove everything, we don't need these things. Just use hashtag and paste that else form. Okay, and now you paste the complete form inside your ng template. And now what you have to do, we have to create this is loading and loading title variable inside your student create component.ts file. So let's move on the top, and here I tell that is loading colon, which is going to be a boolean equal to, so by default it will be false. And now you copy this and just go below. So when the student save is clicked, that time this dot is loading is going to be true. Okay, once it is success, you are going to tell is loading will be false. Okay, make sure you are doing after clearing the data. Same with the error part also. So here, once the display error and set it to false. As simple. Let's save. And now guys, let us check this output. So before checking the output, we are missing one more thing. That is your loading title. Okay, so let's copy this loading title and get back here. So once this save student is clicked, this dot loading title equal to, inside single quotes, you mention that it is saving. Okay, I think we did not create a variable. Let's create that also. Loading title colon equal to string. By default, we will set it to loading itself. Okay, let's save it. And now let's get back. So yep, once refresh, and now I'm directly going to click on save. So here you see the loading shows perfect. So I see one extra bracket. I don't know where this is. Let me just check out. Let's go on the HTML. So here you see guys that extra thing. Let me remove that. Okay, all set. Let us save, and it has gone. Awesome. So yep guys. So guys, we have successfully seen that how to insert the data into a database using Laravel API in Angular. So let me just show you in the database. Awesome. Okay. So guys, in this video, that's it. And let's continue in the next video how to fetch this data from your database inside your Angular CRUD application with the API. Okay. So now guys, in previous video, we have seen how to create the data or insert the data into our database using API. And now guys, in this video, we are going to start with how to fetch the data from the database using Laravel API. Okay. So these are my data which is stored inside the database, and this is the API where we can fetch the data using this API. Okay. So now guys, let's get started. So as simple, let's move to the Angular application. Okay, and now let's begin with the creating the component. So let me just arrange everything and close all the files. Close all the files. As simple. And now guys, begin with the ng generate component, which is the student page. Student hyphen page. So before student page, I just want to follow in the pages folder. Okay, so you can just add that pages pages / then the student page. Hit enter. Perfect. So you find that student page, and inside that student page we have a HTML component page. Okay, and first we will set up the route for this. So let's go on inside the app routing module.ts file. Let's copy and paste, and here we'll just keep the path students, and this is going to be a student component. Okay, student page component. Just click that, and this is student lists. Okay, and you follow that path imported correctly. Yes, let's go to that file. Okay, so this is the ts, and you find that HTML is over here. Let's you can move to that HTML file. Perfect. So we are back to that HTML file, and here you start with the div, and let us check this page first. H1 tag student page. Okay, save it, and now you can just check on the route students. We have got the students page. Awesome guys. So now guys, let's design a HTML table to display all the records. Okay, so first let's move back. get started with the container where I need to add margin top 5 also, and begin with the card design, card header, h4 tag, students lists, and inside this a tag, add student, add student, and let's design this button primary, and this will be floating to end, and here make it as router link. Let's paste here, and this goes to the student slash create. Okay, and now you move to the card hyphen body, and inside this card body you start the table design. Begin with the table, add the class table striped, table bordered. Okay, then table head, table row, and table heading, that is ID, then the name, course, email, then the phone, and one created at, also when it was created, and then let's create the action here. And now guys, table body, and here table row, and this will be the table data, and inside this let me just add a static value 1. So let's save and see the output guys. As simple, refresh, awesome. So let me see why this margin top, okay, here it has come a space. Now save, and perfect. So if you go on add student, okay, so now get back. So when you click on back, it should come to the students page. Okay, so what we can do is just move to the student create component, on the back button just add the students. And also guys, I just want to add on this navbar, okay, the students URL. So yep, let's go inside the partial navbar. If you don't understand how all this has been created, please watch out the first video, that is Angular installation and creating the pages. Okay, so move back to your navbar file. Yep, copy and paste and tell this is the students. Okay, students, save it, and now we can close this navbar, close the student create, and back to the students page. So refresh, we move to students. Awesome. So now guys, let's get started with fetching the record using HTTP client. So now as simple, you need to move on directly to the student page.ts component, and inside that we will be writing the code. First step, we will create one variable called students, not colon, and it will be a student response. Okay, it is any right now, like if you get object data or what kind of data you exactly prefer, just add now student response, and this will be imported from your the student service file. Okay, so inside the student service file we'll be creating that response. Okay, so you can just add that, like export interface student response, open and close curly brace. And what is the response? So I'll show you. So this is my exact response guys, what I am getting the data. Let's copy that and paste here. Okay, so let me remove all these unwanted things, and this will be a number, and this is going to be a string. So let me just paste it guys, as simple. So guys, this will be getting the response. So this response only, what we are doing, we are going inside the student page component file and pasting here. And now we need to import that service. So for that, first you need to use inside the constructor function, open and close curly brace. Here we pass like private student service colon, then your student service. Okay, so this is my student service. So inside this only we are using it. So let's copy and just add comma and paste it here. That's it guys. So here you see you are inside the service. From that I am calling this response and pasting it. As simple, guys, and make sure this is going to be array of data. It's not a single object. Okay, it's array of data. And then now you can take this variable and paste for the loop purpose. So what data you are going to give? So we don't have any data right now, so for that we are going to get the data from the API. So on the page load, ng on init function, open and close curly brace. And now, guys, inside this I will create a get student lists function. And now, guys, you can just create this function here, open and close. And now, guys, inside this function we are going to call the HTTP client request. Okay, so for that we are not going to call the HTTP client request, we will be using the student service. So here, this dot student service dot get student function. Okay, so we need to students will mention. Okay, we have multiple data. So what we'll be doing, let's copy this function name and get back to the student service and create a HTTP call request. Okay, so let's go there on the student service, so which we have created in the previous video. If you don't follow, please follow that, and then you can understand what is this service is going on. Now here you create the get student function. As simple, guys, let us copy this and paste here the same request and make this to get method, and the API is going to be the same because here you see I use the same API to get the data. Let's paste that, and here you are not passing any input, it's just getting the response. Okay, and now, guys, this service will use this get students inside your pages. Okay, I mean student page of your component.ts file. From here it will call the data. All set. From then use a subscribe function and get the response. So you can, and you get the response colon any. Let me add this inside a bracket. So you get any response. This dot your variable students. Let's copy this and paste here, equal to your response dot whatever the data you get. So we don't know exactly from what variable we are getting. So what we'll do, we'll console the response first, console.log res response. And now, guys, let us check the output. So when the page loads, this calls the onInit function, and this onInit calls this function, and this function is calling the HTTP client with the help of student service. Okay, so Angular services we are using it. From there we are calling it and getting the data. So now, guys, what we have to do, let us get back and see the response first. Okay, inspect. So just press F12, it will open the console. And if you refresh, here you see, guys, you have got the data. It's status 200, and here is the students variable. Inside that, two records are found. So let's copy the students variable and get back. So response dot students you are getting. Okay, so this thing only you are going to store inside this variable students. Awesome. So now you can save it, and yep. So you take this variable and go to your student page component.html file. Inside that file you loop your data, ng for, and here is your list. So this dot students to item, and item is nothing but the each value, item.id, the name, the course, the email, then phone, and then created underscore at, and then finally edit button and delete button. Use a tag and just add a edit class button success for edit and danger for delete. And what we'll do, we'll make this delete as a button, not as a tag. Here it's going to be a button, and make this to type. button button, and here let's make it to router link, and by default I just redirect to home page. Let's save, and now let's see the output. Okay, refresh. Awesome guys, so we have got the data in the HTML format. Perfect. So now guys, I just want to add a loading part before it loads the data. So yep, here inside this table, before the table, open and close div, use the ng if else, hit enter, just set is loading, copy this, and this is the template name, right? And here let's tell else table block. Okay, you can mention in this way. So if you want to use this, you have to use in a ng hyphen template, close the angle, and just add a hashtag inside this and paste that same variable. And now you can completely push this table inside your ng template tag. And now here you can use your loading part. So we have already created the loader component where this is the code. Okay, and the title is already set over here. Done. So now guys, let us ignore this loader and add that loader component here. Okay, loader, and end the loader. That's it guys. So now you need to set this is loading inside your component page.ts. So when the students list is called, you need to call it this dot student list equal to true. Okay, and once the data is loaded, you make it to false. So this is loading variable is not created. Let us add that colon, which is boolean, equal to false. So when the page loads, when the get student list is called, we are setting to true. Save it, and now you refresh, so you see that loader. So guys, we have successfully done with fetching the data from our database using the API. Okay, so now guys, I just wanted to teach you one more thing about the interface. When you get the data from the HTTP client, we need to create an interface. So that interface is nothing but what type of response you want to get. Okay, what type of response you want to specify. So let me just show you. Let us remove this and just console the log of response. And here if you see that it is telling status and the student, so only two data are coming in the response, so we need to specify that. So how can you specify as an interface in Angular? So for that, let me get back to the service. So we are using the HTTP client over here. In the get method, we are open and close, and we will tell student response type. So what kind of response type we are getting? So let's copy this and create a interface. So yep, here only we'll create it. Export interface, export interface, the interface name, open and close curly brace, status colon, which will be a number, and then you can add a comma here, and then students colon, and what data you get. We are getting array of data or object of data. You can mention that over here. So basically we are getting this response only, right? So you can copy this and paste here and just mention it is coming inside the array. Okay, now you can save it and get back to this page component. And now guys, you can remove this any. Okay, because we have already set the interface what we are getting, and then you can use in this format. So if you refresh here, everything works smooth. I just want to show you that if I remove this interface, so I'm going to remove this. Let's save it. And if you get back here, you get a error that it doesn't have anything. So we will set that as an interface. So here you see, you face the error. If you just add here any, any, so it's accept, okay, any data might be getting. So instead of doing in this way, we set the interface in the student service. So let me just undo here. So we are setting that this response will be getting in this format, and so you can use this inside your page component. Okay, so this is one interface in the Angular. So you can use this way, or else you can just add any and skip that interface part in that. Okay, so it's at your comfort how you use it. So now guys, let me save it and let's run again. Here everything works fine. So now guys, in this video we are going to edit and update the data. Okay, so basically we have this create form, same way we are going to for the edit form and update the data from that form and then get back to this page. Okay, so now guys, let's get started. So first let's move to this edit button. Yep, let's move back to our Angular application, and here is my student page component where we have listed all the data. Done. So here is my edit button, and now guys, at this router link I just want to add a route with the name students forward slash the id, and then again edit. So here your id will be coming. So let us just open and close double curly brace and just pass this item dot id. So now guys, let's create this route. So let's copy this and get back to our routing.module.ts, which is app routing. And yep guys, so let me paste here, copy and paste. So let's edit here and let me remove it. So here we change the path forward slash and then colon id. Okay, here student edit, and now we need to create a student edit page. Let's open one new terminal here and just type the command ng generate component and the page name. So I'm following one structure here guys. So it's inside the pages folder and going to create student edit, hit enter. Okay, so all the component is created guys for student edit, and now guys, let's import that component. So student edit component, and it has imported the class. Here we move, and now guys, you can go back to that student edit HTML page. And now guys, let's open and close div. In a h3 tag, tell that edit student. Let's save, and now you can route and see the page is opening or not. So let's click on edit, and here you see perfect on the edit student page with the correct URL. Done guys, and now guys, let us copy the create form and paste inside our edit form. As simple, let's go to student create component.html. Let's copy everything and paste in our student edit component.html. Let's paste it. That's it guys. So now what we have to do, let's change the heading edit, and here back button, it's going to be the same, and all this variable also we have to add in our component.ts file. And now guys, one thing you have to change here, instead of save student, let's make it to update student. So it's going to be the same input fields, same error fields, all the save button. Now let's rename this save to update. Okay, so save it, and now guys, you can just get back to the student create component.ts file, and let's copy the variables whatever we have there. So now guys, let us just copy these three variables and let's get back to our edit component.ts file and paste it. Done. So now guys, I just want to create one variable called student. So student not colon any. So now let us copy this variable and just paste inside your form. Okay, student edit component.html, and there we are calling directly name here, right? So we'll be calling student.name. Okay, so we are going to create in this format. So let us just update that student.name, student.course, email, and student.phone. That's it guys. And now guys, you can get back again to your component. So now here we start with the fetching of data. So first step, what we are going to do on the page load, we need to get the ID of this URL. Okay, so from this ID we'll be getting it. Let's get back. So guys, ng on init function, this dot student ID. Okay, we don't have a variable. Let's create that student ID variable here. D not colon any, or just add number also, it's fine. So I'm going to add a number because I know that I'm getting the ID. So now you use this here, equal to then your router. So for that you just need to use this active router. Use a constructor function, open and close curly brace. Inside this function is a private route colon your activate route. Okay, activated route. So if you just press tab and here the class imports. Okay, so it's imported. And now guys, with this help of route, we are going to get the ID. So this dot route dot your snapshot dot param dot get function. From that get function I mentioned it's ID. So make sure it is you are giving ID only. Why? Because you are passing it here as ID. Okay, so here we are facing error like type string null but assignable to number. Let's make it to any. Okay, so there will be no warnings. Now guys, let us console log or just alert it. Let's alert the student ID, save. And now if you refresh, okay, here the edit is, oops, it's showing for this function. Let's create it so it's not an issue. Let's get back to our student edit form. On the form tag here we have a update student function. Let's get back and just add that function, open and close curly brace. Let's save it. And now that has gone perfect. Okay, so now let's go back. Let's click edit on ID2. So here you get in the alert 2. Okay, and then you get the form. Awesome guys. So now you can get back. So we have got the ID, and now with this help of ID, what we'll do, we'll get the single record of the student. So for that guys, we are going to use the student service. If you don't know what is services in Angular, please watch out the video, that is how to insert data into database. In that I have explained how services are used. Okay, so now I'm going to use this service here. So let's get back to student service and let's create one function, get student. So it's just single record. I'll create student only. And now let's return this dot, call the HTTP client, that is your HTTP request, and use a get method. And inside this get method you paste your API. Okay, so my API for getting the student record is, let me show you, here is the edit option. Copy this and get back to our Angular and paste the URL. So my complete URL is this. So yep, pasted, and here we need to pass the ID. Add a dollar symbol and send the ID. So let me mention that is student ID, and here you get from this variable student ID, and here just pass any. So any data you might be getting, or if you know it is a number, then mention it's a number guys. Okay, and now guys, let's get back to the student edit component.ts file. So I reach there. So now on this function, on the page loads, I want to call that student service. From that student service we call get student function. So now you need to add here in the constructor private student service colon student service. Okay, just imports its path correctly. It is already imported. So here we will move there, and you see that we are already on the same path. Perfect. So now guys, let us copy this function and get back to our edit student. So here you use this dot student service dot your get student function, and inside this get student function we need to pass the ID. Okay, so we are sending the ID, we are getting the API response, and from there what you have to subscribe. So when you subscribe, here you get the response colon and open and close curly brace, where you mention console.log the response, and you need to pass inside the student variable also. So what you are getting first, we need to check that. So let's get back and just open your console, developer tool, refresh. So we are getting errors, guys. That is about the input errors. Okay, so it's not able to read that name, but we have got the response here, whatever we did the console log. So here you see in the response, we get the student variable. Inside that student, we have some records, okay, some input field data. So these data only we are going to append in that student variable. So what we'll do, we'll get back, call the student variable, this dot student equal to response dot student. Okay, so when you get the response, you append that student. Okay, so this is the student. And now, so guys, we are facing error. So it's telling that I don't find any value. So before that only it's throwing the error. So what we can do, there are two ways. You can either use any here and sort the issue in the function, and now the error has gone and you might be facing no errors. Refresh. Okay, you have got all the input fields. Okay, so guys, here if you see, we are still facing this error, but the data has come. So before it gives the data, it is already compiled that I cannot find this detail. So there are two solutions, guys, for this. Either you give it all the details, like use curly brace here equal to and tell that name equal to null in this format, or else what we can do, we can just take this variable and get back to the edit HTML, and here in the complete div, let me open and close, just add ng if condition if this student is loaded. Okay, if has any data, that time you show all these input fields. Okay, let me push this and here you end it. That's it, guys, as simple. Save it, and now you might be getting no errors. Refresh. Awesome. Okay, so now guys, we have got the data. So here you see, and here it is appended. Now let's get back. So what we were working on here, so there are, this is one way. And now guys, what in case if you don't want to give in this method and you want to get the data, so you have to create a interface so that it doesn't give warning. So you can just get back to the student service and move on top, export interface, my student, edit, response. Okay, response, open and close. So first will be what it was like. Okay, so here you see that is status and the student. So there are two response. One is status colon, it's going to be a number. Either you make it small or capital, no worries. Add comma and then student colon and what data you are getting. So in that we are getting all these details. So already, so we have already added this list here. So I have already created that in the first video of insert data. If you don't want also, you can just add a like object I'm getting. Okay, object, that's it. So you can mention in this format also, but I just want to get this here and paste it. That's it. Save it. And please don't add array here because we are getting only single data. Okay, so now you can copy this and get below, and inside this get student, before this get function, open and close angle and paste that. That's it, guys. So here we call this interface, and now you'll be able to fetch the details of student, okay, without any changes here. Awesome. So let's save, and now guys, you can just get back, refresh, all works fine. Okay, so now guys, just let us just add the loading part also. So when the page is loaded, I just want to, this dot is loading equal to true. So here is the is loading variable, true. Once the data is loaded, make it to false, false. Now save it, get back, refresh. So here you see how it loads. Awesome, guys. So now, guys, let us begin with updating the data. As simple. Let's move on the HTML. So here you see on the form submit, and the button type should be submit. So when you update this, it goes on this ng submit and gets to the update function. So let's move to the coding, and here is your update function. So when we click on update function, we need to get all the input fields. So for that, let's create one input data variable equal to open and close curly brace, where we mention all the requests, what should be sent on the API request. Okay, so that is name, and this dot student dot name. Okay, so I'm getting from this student variable this dot student dot name, student dot course, whatever you send. Let me explain you more here. This is the variable, so I'm going to copy that and paste here. Okay, so no confusion. And then, guys, you're going to for the course, and my request in that course, email, this is the input, and finally phone, and this is my phone. Okay, and now, guys, let's type the HTTP request for updating the data. This dot, I'm going to use student service. Where is my student service? Let me copy this dot student service dot update student, then use subscribe function, then you'll be getting the response. So before that, I just send this all the request, use comma, and the student ID also we need to send. So for that, where is the student ID? Here it is. We have stored it. Let's copy that and send the student ID also. Awesome. So now, guys, let us first create this function in the student service. Let's copy this, get back to the student service. So here we move below, paste the student function name, open and close. First we get the input data, getting that as an object, comma, and I'm getting an ID also, that is student ID, which is in the form of number. All set. And now, guys, write the HTTP client request, that is I'm going to use a put method because I have created an API using put method. Let me show you that. So in my Laravel application, I'm using put to update the record. Okay, so let's copy this API, get back and paste here inside the tilde symbol. Let me paste the complete URL. Okay, paste here. And now, guys, here we need to send the ID. So this is my student ID. Let me copy it and send the ID. And after this, add a comma and send the input request. As simple, guys. It is very clear. Okay, let me zoom it more so you can see clearly. Okay, let's get back, save it. And now, guys, you can use this update function. Move back to your edit component.ts file. So now, guys, open and close curly brace in the subscribe function, and then use a next colon, open and close bracket of arrow function. So this is for the success response. So here you get response of any response you might get, and you pass that. Let me console.log first. So we log that. So once updated, I just want to alert the message response.message. Okay, so on the API, I have given the message. Let me confirm it. Let me go to this update function. So once the data is updated, so we get a variable message. Awesome. So let's paste here. Okay, so message is like updated, and this dot is loading equal to false. So when it's successfully done, we need to make it to false. Okay, loading part. we have not set to active. Let me make it to true. So once we click on update, the loader starts, and then once the updated, loading false. And then guys, add a error colon open bracket arrow and function. So here you get the error, and this error only you are going to this dot errors equal to error dot errors. Okay, and you can make this to loading false on the error also, and coming in any format. Okay, so it will not give any warnings. So now guys, let me console log and show you this errors, and you move back, refresh. Let's remove this one email, click on update, you will get that 422, which is input error. Okay, this email field is required, you see here, and you have got the response in the error format. So here you see guys, error is the main key inside that you find that errors. So I'm taking this error and errors and pasting it, error and errors. Okay, we are storing in this errors variable, and here is the error variable, and this error variable I'm using in the edit form at this place to show the error whatever we get for that input field. So now guys, done, and now let's try to update the record. So let's refresh, and instead of with Prakash, let's make it to with only, and yep, let me make it to capital. Let's click on update. So let's see, student updated successfully. Okay, and done. Let me refresh, you get that with only, and here capital. Awesome guys, so we have successfully learned how to update the data in our AngularJS CRUD application using Laravel API. So now guys, in this video we are going to learn how to delete the data from the database using a Laravel API in Angular. So now guys, let's get started. So first let's move to this table view at this delete button. Let's move here. So guys, this is my student page component of HTML where I am at the student table, where this is my delete button. Done. So now guys, at this button I'm going to add a click event. So open and close function and just add a click, and then you create a function like delete student function. With this student, I just want to pass the event and the ID, dollar event comma and the student ID. Let me bring down so it will be clear. So here is my click function. Okay, and now guys, copy this and go to the component ts file, and you can create a simple function there. Use that same student function, I mean delete student function. You get the event first and then the student ID. In this event we don't know what we are getting, so just add any, and here it's a number, so I will add a number. Okay, student ID, obviously we are getting the ID, integer data. And now guys, let us use a if condition for the confirm and delete the data. So just use confirm function and add a message, are you sure you want to delete this data? So I just wanted one feature here, like if I click on this delete button, it should tell that it's deleting, and when it's deleted it should disappear. So for that I just use this event dot target dot inner text equal to, I'll tell deleting. Okay, done. Let's see the output of this. Refresh, click on delete, are you sure? Okay, here you see it's deleting. Okay, now you can get back again. Now guys, let us write the code for delete the student. So first I'm going to my service. There we will create a function like destroy student function where I get the ID, student ID, and I get in a number format. Now return this dot http client dot I'm using delete method to delete the record. Okay, so I'll just confirm that in my laravel API application. So here is my API for deleting the record. Okay, let me copy this, use tilde symbol and paste it. And now let's copy the complete URL. Here you paste API forward slash student, and then inside this curly brace, before that add a dollar symbol. So it will be editable format. And now you copy the student ID and pass here. And now let us copy this function and get back to the student page component at delete student function. So now this is my student service. So I have already imported the student service. Let me just show you that. So here in the constructor, I have imported that student service. Okay. So we'll copy this student.service.destroy student function, what I have created. So in that only we are passing the ID. Let's copy this ID and send in this function. So it will tell, yes, I'm sending the ID, and what response you get, we can get in the subscribe function. Response colon any is an arrow function. We are going to refresh it. Okay, so how are you refreshing the page? We are using this function to refresh the data. I mean, call the data on the page load. So use the same function here to reload the data. So this function is nothing but the above function only it is calling. Okay, so not to worry. And now guys, once data is refreshed, you can alert the response message. So here you get this response dot message. So what is that message? Let me confirm here. Let's go to the destroy code. Once deleted, here you see that message is there. So you take this message response and paste here. Now guys, let us try to delete the record. Yep. So let me add one dummy record. So dummy course dummy at gmail.com, some random digit phone number. Let's click on save. Student created successfully. Okay, let's go back, and here is my dummy record. Let's click on delete guys. Are you sure? Let me cancel first. Okay, let's click again and let's tell okay. So you're deleting, student deleted successfully. Okay, and your data is refreshed. Perfect guys. So guys, we have successfully completed how to delete the record using API in Angular. So guys, thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe, like and share.